back to my channel. My name is Abby. If you are new here, I'm a homeschooling mom to 4, and today I'm doing a video that was requested by you guys when I shared our unhurried morning routine, which is to share about our busy afternoon and evening schedule. And so today I'm going to share some tips, some organization, and just a little rundown of ways that I make our afternoons manageable as a natural homebody who has found herself in the car quite a bit with her 4 children. So stay tuned if this sounds like your cup of tea. Today's video is in partnership with Reading Eggs, and most of you guys know that we have loved Reading Eggs in our home for years. There's something for all of my kids' ages, and they have so much fun playing with it. It's a multi-award-winning online reading program for kids ages 2 to 13. It's based on scientific research, and they guarantee your child's reading ability will improve in just weeks. In fact, after just a few short weeks, 91% of parents report a noticeable improvement. It's based on scientific research, teaches phonics, sight words, and other essential literacy skills, and it's created by expert educators with over 30 years of experience. There are guided lessons that are easy to follow and match your child's ability, over 2,500 children's books in the online library, songs, animations, and rewards make learning reading fun. There are progress reports that let you track your child's growth, printable certificates that celebrate achievement, and it's tablet and desktop compatible. So if you want to get started and try Reading Eggs for 30 days for free, you can do so. I will put the link in the description box down below. Thank you so much, Reading Eggs, for sponsoring today's video. My kids look forward to using this app every single day after they finish school. Let's talk busy. First of all, my channel name is Rooted in Rest, so clearly I have different priorities than being busy, and yet here I found myself in a very busy season of life. I think that busyness gets a really bad rap sometimes. I think it's either celebrated, like you're doing more than someone else if you're busy, or it is just judged as you're being run down, or you're wearing it as a badge of honor. And I understand why people say that, but then I feel like there's this middle ground, which is where I'm at, which is we're busy, not because I want to be busy, not because I'm placing value on the wrong things. In fact, a lot of the reason that we're busy is because of the things that we do value. We do value youth sports in our family. We value our church community. And so we find ourselves busy in the afternoons quite a bit. So I think that there is still a way to thrive in busy circumstances. If you're a homebody like I am, I would much rather be home all day, every day. I'm very much an introvert in that sense, although when I'm home, I'm kind of like a busier personality at home, but once I leave the house, my energy is zapped. So I could easily be home, wake the kids up at 6 and get started with school and just be going all day long here at home. I prefer that to being outside of the house. And so this year we've done we've made a couple of shifts in our schedule that really do go against my kind of personality, like slowing down in the mornings, which, like I said, I'd rather get up and get going here at home in order to preserve some energy and peace for our busier afternoons, which I would also rather not be doing, so to speak, although I love it for my kids. So it's kind of the background on just being busy in general, my thoughts on being busy. I think if we are not careful, we can quickly become a victim. We have a victim mentality to our schedule. And so what I wanted to do this year is just take charge. I looked ahead and saw what our schedule looked like this school year. John and I always sit down at the beginning of a school year and eliminate as much as we can. And this year, there are things that our kids have really been working toward that we didn't want to take from them. You know, my daughter is captain of her dance company now. Our boys are really into martial arts and they're doing a lot of different training besides just karate and jiu-jitsu now. The kids are just thriving with their surf lessons, and then there's music, which John and I really value, and so we've kept them in music lessons whether they want to be or not. And then we have our son Eli, who is just cute as a button when he's out on the golf course, and so he takes golf lessons once a week as well. So when we looked at our schedule and then of course our church commitments, we did eliminate one thing, which was a middle of the week Bible study. But other than that, there was nothing really to take off of our plates this upcoming school year. And so I looked at that and I was like, I don't want to be in a rushed state. I don't want to be an angry mom, drained all the time. So I chose to just take charge of our schedule, be intentional with our time in the car, and not be a victim to the schedule, because I don't want to add like a negative feeling just because that's how I personally feel about being in the car to where my kids are absolutely thriving and doing very well in certain areas. So a lot of times I have to really check myself and step out of the way, remove my feelings from a situation and just shift focus, readjust, make it work, take control, and it feels so much different when you arrive somewhere feeling in control than when you arrive somewhere feeling rushed, panicked, or like you'd rather be anywhere else. So those are my thoughts and kind of just how we've ended up in this busy season of life. And now I'm going to share some tips that have really made it so manageable, helpful, and just, dare I say, enjoyable being in the car in the afternoons and just busy. So you'll see me looking at my phone. I have some notes here. There are things I did not want to forget, little tips all throughout the day and throughout the week that have made this a manageable year for us this year. So the first one is just the obvious, which is creating peaceful moments for yourself as the chauffeur, chef, teacher, all the above. So the three kind of markers in my day are my morning coffee and Bible time, and it's more than just reading my Bible. It's a time that I sit down with coffee. I wake up before the kids. John and I sit at the table and chat. Kind of do our own Bible study separately, but then we'll start chatting and just have a nice little wake up time together. That is such an enjoyable time for me, and it really helps for me to have that time in the morning rather than just waking up to the rush of the day, because if that's the feel when you first wake up, it'll be that way all day long. The second time is in the afternoons when the kids have their quiet time. I'll either make myself an iced coffee or a kombucha or a sparkling water I'll grab from the fridge. I'll have a little bit of downtime myself, and then I'll take that beverage with me on the go when we're in the car. And it's so funny how easy it is to feel like something's a treat. I don't know, I'm a very simple girl. If I make an iced coffee and get in my car while I'm running kids to dance and karate and all of that, I feel like it's just fun. Like, oh, I've got my iced coffee. I don't know why it does that. And then the third thing for myself is an evening workout. Exercise, fitness, it's something that helps me just mentally so much, and so I like to have that as an anchor in my day. But I can totally see how like reading in bed or watching a show at the end of the night would help you unwind. For me, it's exercise, but it really could be anything for anyone. Just the point of it is it's at the end of the day, something to look forward to. If we miss our quiet time in the afternoon or I wake up too late, I at least can do that in the evening and just know that there is a time coming where I will be able to catch my breath. The next thing that I really think is important is just being intentional with my time in the car. So it's usually audiobooks for me if I am like dropping someone off and then alone in the car or driving around somewhere. If all of us are in the car and it's not an audiobook that I want the kids to be listening to, then I have a couple of different worship playlists. I have one called Quiet Time and then one called Daily Worship. The Daily Worship one has like a lot more upbeat music, and then the Quiet Time one is like, okay, attitudes are flaring or I'm not feeling great today, and it's more peaceful worship music just to keep my heart in a good posture. And then things like activity books, or I do have Wi-Fi in my car, so sometimes the kids will bring the iPad and either do like their math or they'll do reading eggs or something like that. So just being intentional with the time that we're out and about instead of just having that as like dead space in our schedule. I think a lot of the time that I really resented driving around places, being in the car, was because I just felt like I could be doing anything else but sitting for an hour. I don't love leaving my kids places, so I tend to like linger in a parking lot or something. So if it's not an audiobook or it's not worship music, it's a magazine or a book that I want to read, or it's my planner, things like that. I do love to bring little travel games for my kids if we go into a lobby somewhere together, like they love Sushi Go or Canoodle, things like that. So just being intentional with that space so it's not wasted, and that helps my feeling toward the amount of time that we're gonna be in the car or sitting in a dance studio or in a parking lot that day. The next thing I'm sure to add into our schedule is both slow mornings and intentional time in the evening. So a lot of times, because of our schedule, we don't all eat dinner together, and that has been really hard for me to reconcile because I've always believed in the family dinner table. But I also believe in being at church, and I also believe in youth sports and activities, and so dinner time has just been difficult. We do have homemade meals almost every night, but it's not always together. So having evening time together instead of dinner time together has been helpful. I will read with Annie. John will read a devotion to the kids. We will pray. We will sing worship music. That is now our evening time. And a lot of times that happens between 8:30 and 9 because everyone's not home until that time. The flip side of that is just having slow, intentional morning time. We do eat breakfast together. You guys saw that in my morning video, which I will link up here if you haven't seen that before. We do eat breakfast together. We do devotions, Bible study in the mornings together. We push off our school day start as far as academics until almost 10 a.m. And we are just really try to cultivate peace in the mornings in our home, and that has changed everything for me as far as the afternoon rush. It used to feel like wake up, get going, because I really prioritize that like get up and get going feel. It used to be get up and get going, run hard, and then pause for lunch, everyone has quiet time, now we're gonna run hard again in the afternoon. And just having a slow morning, then picking up the pace a little bit in the early afternoon for school, and then getting out the door in the evening, followed by intentional family time together at night. It's been really great. So just creating those margins in the morning and in the evening of just calm, peace, conversation, that has been really helpful. Just keeping in mind that there is going to be a very high note in the afternoon, and so we need some low notes throughout the day. Another boundary that I've really had to learn and has been completely on me has been saying no to daytime commitments and appointments, or, you know, errands, things that would be easier during the day because we homeschool. I have to say no to that, because what I have learned about myself and knowing that we're gonna have a busy afternoon is if we have a 10 a.m. dentist appointment instead of taking the 4 p.m. after school hours, or if we are gonna go grocery shopping in the morning real quick before school, or if we take an 11 a.m. golf lesson slot instead of the 2 p.m. slot, we're really not gonna do school that day. And also, we're not going to arrive to the end of the night in one piece very well, because as a family, we do not do well with stop, go. And thankfully, that is not required of us right now. In this season, I've learned never say never, because I also never thought that we would be so many places in the afternoons either. Thankfully, that's not required of us right now, and so I'm not going to add that to our plate where it's possible. So if there's a 4 p.m. orthodontic appointment, that's the one we take, even though I know the waiting room will be much lighter at 10 a.m. If there is a lesson slot for golf in the afternoon or a music slot in the afternoon, we're gonna take it, even though I think it would be easier at 9 a.m. It's not. So I've had to really learn to create that boundary for us and our family, and really for my own self, because science isn't gonna happen if we're stop, go during the day. And it's taken me a long time to really have to implement that boundary. I've tried to make it work for years, and I've really hit the wall too many times where I know now to say, okay, afternoons are better, even though it seems nicer in the morning. Another boundary I've really had to create for myself is having a cleaning day on Saturday mornings. I love cleaning in the afternoons. We've always had morning contributions, afternoon contributions, which are what we call chores. We do have some very light contributions in the afternoon now, but we're not like doing a full mop of the house, you know, dusting, things like that, like I used to, cleaning the bathrooms down every afternoon or anything like that. Just because we do have to get out the door sometimes, and I want my kids to have like a quiet moment of quiet time before they head out the door for the afternoon. And so we've started doing Saturday morning cleaning, because my kids don't actually have anything on Saturdays until at least noon. Sometimes there's dance or martial arts stuff on Saturdays around lunchtime, but we are not in any youth sports like basketball or soccer or anything like that like we used to be, where there's an 8 a.m. game on Saturday. And so Saturday is the day that we really try to not make too many plans on. I mean, sometimes you get invited to birthday parties, whatever, but typically Saturday mornings for us are when we clean now, and I keep a list all week long. Of course, there's the daily pickup, there's the dishes that are done every day and things, but as far as like, I'd really like to reorganize my spice rack, or the floors need to be mopped, or we need to clean the patio, clean out the car, wash the dog, things like that get added to a list, and then we do that Saturday mornings. John is often at his office Saturday mornings, so it's like the kids and I will clean Saturday mornings a little bit. There will be a TV on in the background because that's a treat for my kids. And then we'll go for bubble tea. That's like our little, yay, we've cleaned on Saturday. And so we've really had to hold to that boundary of like, we're not gonna start projects during the week, but also we are gonna get up and clean on Saturday mornings because it's gonna set us up for the rest of the week, not having to worry about that in our day, so that we aren't coming home at the end of a day to a really messy house. Another thing I've had to implement this school year in particular is starting dinner prep as much as possible in the early afternoon when I'm about to want to sit down on the couch. So right about when we finish school for the day and I'm like, okay, done, is when I'm like, how many veggies do I need to chop to prep dinner for tonight? What do I need to throw on high in the crock pot? Is there anything I can do to get ahead on dinner? Because, you know, the pace is just about to pick up, and so as much as I can do to help myself later in the day, I try to get done in the early afternoon just to kind of catapult us ahead. And then again, I know that like later in the evening, I'll have like my workout time or something like that to look forward to, so I can just continue to like go task by task, do the next right thing, the next thing that needs to be done, and not just crash on the couch, which is why having those anchors throughout my day are super helpful, just to know like, okay, that time is coming, so I can really be diligent and get my work done now. As far as our schoolwork goes, one thing that's been really helpful, we've used for years, we kind of go on and off with it, is a checklist style for our kids' independent work. I know I've talked about it a few times here, so you guys know what I mean, but I keep my kids' independent work on a checklist instead of a day by day. So it's not like Monday handwriting, Tuesday handwriting. It's like at the bottom of their planner, all right, handwriting 4 times this week. And so they know they need to do 4 handwriting lessons, they need to do 5 math lessons, they need to do 2 science lessons. So when I do dismiss them from our family subjects to their independent subjects, depending on who has what that day, they can work with their schedule and get stuff done. So say Bella has to be somewhere for dance one day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, then she knows like ahead of time, I can do 2 math lessons today because I probably won't have time tomorrow. And that has just been really helpful, and it's a good lesson to learn because we all have things that we look at our schedules and go like, I don't think I can do that tomorrow, I better do that today. And so of course I help my younger kids with that, but Isabella, my oldest, has gotten in the really good habit of being able to look ahead and see what needs to be done now, or just giving her the freedom to say, okay, today I don't have time, but I'm gonna make sure I do 2 handwriting lessons tomorrow. So making our independent homeschool work more of a checklist style than a day-by-day grind has been really freeing as far as our afternoons go, because my kids' commitments, they all are kind of staggered in the afternoons. It's not like we're always getting in the car at 5. Sometimes we're getting in the car at 2, dropping a kid off, or sitting somewhere in the car, and my other kids can bring work to do with them in the car while somebody's in, you know, a lesson or something. And so having that just gives them a little bit of freedom and flexibility because they're not all on the same schedule right now. And then there's 2 things that I'm going to tell you about that I'm going to show you after I'm done talking here. One, of course, plenty of snacks. For busy afternoons, it's really great to have snacks and drinks available to get out the door, to eliminate that need to prep or find something or to stop somewhere while you're out. And then the last thing is just to remove any unnecessary daily effort. There's a lot of things that can just be habit or can be kept in the car, so we don't have to do this extra 20 minutes of run around before we get out the door. So dance, co-op, and golf bags stay in our car. We have umbrellas for every single person in our family in the trunk of my car in case it's raining that day. We have extra snacks, we've got extra hair ties, extra things like that in my car, so that if there's a last minute like, I forgot, we don't have to turn around, we don't have to waste time looking for things. It's all kept in the car or in my purse, and I will go ahead and walk you through how we do snacks and my car and purse organization right now, just to give you guys an idea of what that looks like for us. All right, let's talk about snacks first. So we keep a lot of snacks on hand for when we are walking out the door in the afternoons. All of these snacks that I'm showing you are strictly for the moment that we're walking out the door, for them to throw in their bag or for them to eat on the way. So we have obviously like a fruit container, and then my kids love seaweed. I have this snack container that's organized with some granola bars and cereal bars, some fruit options, some just grab and go quick items. And then I also keep things like this tuna to-go kit, as well as cheese sticks, yogurt packs, and those Uncrustable sandwiches for my kids who are going to be out of the house for a long time, who almost need like a first dinner or like a second lunch. And then we also keep some other prepackaged options. My kids do like sparkling water, as well as some Gatorade and juice boxes for if anybody needs to pack something quickly as we go. Just a little refreshment before we hit the road for a little bit. And then in the trunk of my car, this storage container is so helpful. So this velcros to the back of my car. It also hooks over the edge, but I choose to just keep it velcroed because whenever I get groceries, I can just tear it off and pull my seat down. So we live in Florida, so I've got things like sunblock for when we need it. I don't want to have to run through my house and grab extra sunblock when we head out the door. We've got hair ties and things like that, extra sunglasses, a first aid kit. I actually added some things to the first aid kit. We could always use paper towels, hand wipes. As you can see, I do need to replenish my little snack container back here, but that is really helpful to have in the back of my car. We've got some books, some little workbooks and activity books for my kids, because oftentimes they'll forget something and it's a waiting room kind of day for a couple of them. Like we're gonna be waiting in the dance studio and the karate studio. And then I also have a big blanket in case we are waiting at a park or hanging out outside somewhere. I've got a reusable water bottle in case somebody forgot to bring their reusable water bottle, that we can hit a water fountain, and then a lint roller, which is always helpful with dance and karate involved. And then in the trunk of my car, we keep golf bags, dance bags, co-op bags, umbrellas, things like that. And then I do keep a couple of things in my purse that I don't want to keep in the car. So travel games, Band-Aids, these are always things that are helpful for me to have on hand, either in the front seat with me or if we're inside of a building waiting for somebody. Instead of having to run out to the car, I keep a packet of markers and crayons in that little pouch. I don't want them to melt in my car. Essential oils. We've got some insect repellent wristbands for any outdoor activities at dusk. It just seems to be the right time of day. And then these wisps are so helpful to have on hand when you're on the go, especially if you've got kids with braces, especially if you are taking snacks on the go with you. So they're super helpful to have on hand. I hope this video was helpful or encouraging to those of you who feel like you are in the middle of a very busy season and want to take control instead of feeling behind or rushed all of the time. Let me know what some of your tips and tricks are in the comments down below, your best organization hacks for busy afternoons, and I will see you guys soon. Bye guys.